So we started with collection framework 2-3 days back, and we started key framework hota kya hai. Then we have seen the drawbacks of array. So if you want to store multiple values, we can create that many number of variables, but the issue is you have to create lot many variables and maintaining them is a challenge. So because of that reason we started using arrays. So using array we can store multiple values in a sequential memory locations using a single hold or you can single unit. बट वहाँ पर इशू आ रहा था कि एक बार आपने एरे क्रिएट किया देन यू कैनॉट मॉडिफाई द एरे, यू कैनॉट इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज द साइज ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एरे, and you are forced to store only same type of data, and along with that you are going to waste lot of memory or you will have shortage of memory also. And then for every requirement, such as let's say you want to search in the array or you want to read the array content or modify the array content, every requirement you are supposed to write the code. So there is no method support for the developer. So because of that reason only the framework concept, collection framework, was introduced. So what is framework? Framework is nothing but a predefined set of code which we can use to solve our day-to-day activities. Let's say there is a repetitive problem of storing the multiple values. So what was the problem? We were facing difficulty in storing multiple values in a single unit. So for that purpose, what Java people did, they have written lot of code and they have placed that code as part of collection framework. So what framework is? Predefined set of code. So collection is also a framework which contains predefined set of code in terms of classes, interfaces and methods, right? So what is the reason, what is the use of that code which is written by the collection framework or the Java people as part of collection framework? So using that code you can easily store multiple objects as a single unit. Now that objects or values can be of same type, they can be of different type, and you do not need to worry about the size because using collection framework you can store as many as values you want, right? There is no restriction on the size. So they are growable in nature, means you can add as many as elements as and when required. Then they will help you to store homogeneous, heterogeneous data also. So you do not have to worry about that. Then for every requirement, let's say you want to search elements in the given container. So collection is nothing but a container object, so which will store other objects. So using collection we get a method support. Let's say I want to search in a bunch of elements, you can do that. I want to read the elements from that container, we can do that. Or you want to modify or append any content, or you want to delete some content, or you want to add multiple values or sort the elements. For every requirement there is a support provided by the Java people for the method. So method support is there. So these are the some benefits we get out of the collection. So there we have seen lot of classes, interfaces, methods available. So all these classes you will find inside the java.util package. Now whatever the classes, interfaces are provided by this collection, they are referred as data structures, and the methods are referred as implementations or algorithms. So data structure nothing but a container type. So it is a structure where we can put the data. You can think of as a container. So we have different types of containers for different requirements. So we have different data structure implemented with the help of this collection. We have stack, queue, list. There are n number of data structures are implemented. Now algorithms are nothing but steps or the set of guidelines to perform certain tasks or perform certain operation. Now operation can be adding an element into the container, or removing the element from the container, or searching the element in the given container. So these methods are nothing but algorithms, right? Now we have seen set of classes. So what are the classes we have? Now we have this iterable is an interface, then it is extended by collection, then we have list, it is extended by list, then we have set, then we have queue, right? These are all interfaces. And for that we have different multi implementation classes also. For the list we have array list, linked list, vector and stack. Then we have set, we have linked as set. So I will draw that, so it will be easy for you to remember. So subset top we have iterable, it is a interface. Then it is extended by collection interface, right? Then we have collection interface is extended by list, and list is implemented by array list. It is a class. Then we have linked list, it is also class. Then we have vector, vector is also class, and vector is extended by stack, right? Then after list we have set, set is an interface which is extended by as set, the class. Linked has set, it is also class. Then set is extended by sorted set, it is a interface. Then sorted set is extended by navigable set, and then navigable set is implemented by tree set, it is a class, right? Then collection is extended by queue, and queue is implemented by priority queue. And then we have a queue is implemented by linked list also, right? So these are the some set of classes we have, some interfaces we have. So iterable, it is interface, collection is also interface, list is also interface, set is also interface, queue is also interface. Then we have sorted set is also interface, navigable set is also interface. Then we have these array list, linked list, vector, stack, has set, linked has set, tree set. These are concrete classes. We can create the object. Right now, as you can see, we have three different layers. This is list, set, and queue. So we have cleared the most of the concepts related to the list. Now, when to use? Now, what is collection? It is an interface which contains some general purpose methods which are implemented by all of these classes. Now, when you are going to use list, when you want to store duplicate data, when you want to store unique data, you go with the set. Now, when you want to maintain the insertion order, then you go with the list, and you do not worry about the order, then you go with the set. And if you want some precise processing order, you go with the queue, right? You go with the processing order. Now, to store the duplicate and insertion order, so we have four options: array list, linked list, vector, and stack, right? Now, what is the difference? Now, can we store homogeneous data here? Yes, yes, yes. Heterogeneous, null, then duplicate, all of the classes, yes. Null you can insert anywhere, duplicate also everywhere. Then we have insertion order. Insertion order is maintained everywhere, yes. Then what else we have? Then we have major methods are synchronize. Synchronize methods, no. No, yes. Yes, vector and stack. Then we have स्टैक में एक ही मेथड सिंक्रोनाइज नहीं है, दैट इज पुश, बाकी सारी सिंक्रोनाइज ही है, पुश मेथड नहीं है। यस, द पुश मेथड इज नॉट सिंक्रोनाइज, बाकी सारी सिंक्रोनाइज, तो आप उसे भी सिंक्रोनाइज ही बोल सकते हो। अंडरलाइंग डेटा स्ट्रक्चर क्या यूज होता है? एरे लिस्ट में क्या यूज होता है? एरे यूज होता है, एरे, एरे, एरे प्लस स्टैक, मतलब स्टैक उन्होंने इंप्लीमेंट किया है यूजिंग एरे। देन व्हाट वी हैव नेक्स्ट, doubly linked list is the data structure which is implemented by linked list. So it is best for retrieval, it is best for retrieval. So which one is best for retrieval? Best for modification? No, best for all. Yes, I will write best. So best for modification. So you have only linked list, not this one, not this one, not this one. I hope you are able to remember this all hierarchy, right? So we have seen all the properties of these classes, and we have performed most of the all operations. What are the operations we are trying to perform? Adding a single element, add multiple elements, then remove single element, remove multiple elements, remove all elements, the remove based on condition. So we have seen this. Then I want to check if the element is present there or not, then we have even contains, then contains all also, not contains all is not there, only this one. Then we have size is empty. What else? Then we have perform retrieval also. So retrieval also we have perform get. So get method is there. So to retrieve element we have get. Then we have done the sorting of all elements also. So all these operations we have performed on the given collection. So on all of the array list, linked list, vector, stack. So we have performed all these operations. Sorting also we have performed. Yes. Okay. So today we'll be talking about set. So if you see the hierarchy, set is implemented by hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. Now if you want to store unique elements, then we go with the set. Okay, let's try to write about this also. So all the methods that we are trying to perform will be performing set. So set interface and implementations we learn. So what is the implementation we have? Hash set, then we have linked hash set, then we have tree set. Okay. So all of these are classes. These three classes we are going to use. So what are the properties? Now when you should go with the set? Unique. When you want to store unique data, then you go with the set. Right. Now remember, in hash set we can store homogeneous, as well as heterogeneous data, and this should be we can store only unique data. Now we can store homogeneous as well as heterogeneous also. We can store null element, but only once. Right, now what all things we can do? Heterogeneous, homogeneous, unique. Then whether there is an insertion order maintained or sorting order? No. So there is no insertion order maintained. There is no insertion order maintained. So you cannot predict the output. You cannot predict the output. Now very much important. Now I told you they store unique data. They store unique data. Now how they are checking uniqueness of elements? So if you are trying to add an element, now it will first check whether the element is present already. If it is so, don't add. If it is not there, then only add. So uniqueness of element is stored. Uniqueness of elements is decided, is maintained with the help of equals and hash code method. So how they are checking the uniqueness of elements? Using equals and hash code method. Simple. Now all the points are true for linked hash set, but only one difference is there. There is insertion order maintained. That's it. Hash set and linked hash set are exactly same. Only difference is insertion order is maintained. Only insertion order is the difference. There also uniqueness of element is maintained. And very much important, internally hash set uses hash map. Internally linked hash set uses linked hash map. You are using linked hash map. Simple. Now we'll talk about the tree set also. Now based on your requirement we have different things. Now I will just try to copy this thing. Now using tree set we can store only unique data, but here very important, we can store only homogeneous data. We cannot store null element even once. We cannot store the null element even once. And there is sorting order maintained. Sorting order means elements will be sorted. And internally tree set uses tree map. And remember, uniqueness of element is maintained with the help of uniqueness of elements is maintained with the help of comparable and comparator. Simple. So we have listed all the major properties what we are looking. Now instead we try to add the elements. If you see here, we are able to add. If I remove this, talk about that. So if you see here, you will have only unique elements. Only unique elements you will find. This is navigate to the duplicate. So duplicate set element. So it will add only unique elements. If I run this now, you will get only 3 elements, 10, 20 and 30. But the order is not expected because insertion order is not maintained. Let me remove this. So I can add duplicates also. I can add string also, ABC. Then I can add, let's say, true, true. So if you see here, what all things we are able to add? So what all things we are able to perform here? Number one, unique, data will be unique. Then you can add null only once. You can add homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Then we can add what all things? Now remember, fourth thing, insertion order is not maintained. Insertion order is not maintained. Let's run this. Null you can add, but only once. Duplicate you cannot add. Heterogeneous data also you can add. So you cannot predict the output, let's say 10, 20 ABC like that. You cannot predict. See here. You get this any random order, null, ABC, 20, 10, 30. But what is guaranteed? Guaranteed is uniqueness of elements. What is the guarantee? You will have only unique elements. Simple. Check. So guaranteed is you will have unique elements. But I want instead of hash set, I will just go with the linked hash set. That's it. Now only thing is changed is everything remains same. You will get the predicted output. You will get 10, 20, ABC, true, null, 30. See here. So we get the 10, 20, ABC, true, null, 30. So what is changed? Only order is changed. So you have now insertion order. Rest you are having unique elements, null only ones, homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Only thing changed is insertion order. Insertion order is maintained. Now we'll talk about the tree also, tree set. We'll just copy this and I will start using this. Now see here, instead of linked hash set, I will go with the tree set. Now only one change, not only one. So in tree set, we can store unique. We cannot store null even once. एक बार भी आप store नहीं कर सकते. We can store only homogeneous. And very important, sorting order is maintained. Now you tell me, if you want elements to be sorted, now can you do in sorting? What happens? You compare the elements. Elements should be of same type, then only you can perform the sorting. Remember, for sorting purpose, elements must be of same type. Elements must be of same type, then only you can perform the sorting. Now see here, I have used tree set and I am trying to add the elements. Now I will get the compile time. I will not get the compile time, I will get runtime errors. What all things I will get? See here. Now you can put only same type data, then only you will be able to perform the sorting. Now it is saying integer cannot be modified or cast to the string. So you have to either keep strings or either keep the integers or either keep the null. I will just remove this. I will just keep integers. Now I have integers. I have all integers as null. Now what I will do, null also. I will try with null. Now once again I will run. Now null is not allowed. Null is not allowed even once. You are written twice. But null will give you null pointer exception, because any operation with the null will give you null pointer exception, because we are doing a compare operation. If you want to do the sorting, so we have to compare the elements. So if you are comparing with null, you will get the null pointer exception. So we do not need to add this. Right? Now see here, I have elements. I will add multiple elements, 1, 11, 1, 2, 22, 30. Now see here, I have added integer types all 11, 1, 2, 22, 30, 30. So my output should be 1, 2, 11, 22 and 30. Simple. Are we getting the sorted elements? Yes. So just to let me summarize, hash set, linked hash set and tree set, everywhere you will have unique elements. Everywhere, not everywhere you will have the homogeneous data you can store. There is no shortage of memory space. Now hash set and linked hash set, what is the difference? Hash set, you will allow unique elements, then homogeneous as well as heterogeneous, and you can add null but only once. There is no insertion order. But in linked hash set, you have homogeneous, heterogeneous, unique, and insertion order is maintained. So hash set internally uses hash map, linked hash set internally uses linked hash map, and then we have tree set. So tree set allows you only store homogeneous data, because it is going to perform sorting. For that purpose, you have to add the elements of the same type. Then it will maintain unique elements, null not even once you can add, right? So homogeneous, unique, sorted. Homogeneous, unique, sorted. Simple. Okay, let's talk about that. All clear with this? Implementations, very simple properties. Now I will try to add a custom object. Let's say I have an employee class. I have a employee class, and there I have private int id, string name, and salary. Tick. Now I will add a couple of getter setters. So if you want, we added Lombok already, right, in this project. So I can use @ data, @ all hours constructor, @ no hours constructors, and I can override toString method also. Simple. So I hope you remember this. Last time we have used Lombok, that's why we are able to add this. So you do not need to create getter setters. So this will create getter setters, all argument constructor, no argument constructor, and toString also. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to add custom objects. I want to add multiple objects. So I will have a set, or I will have a hash set. You can use set only, set of employees. I want set of employees. Now where is set present? Set is present inside the util package. And I will write employees, and then I will write new hash set. Okay. Now this is a container I have created. Now there I am going to add multiple employees. So I will create employees equal to new employee, and I will add the values. One, let's say we have web4 and we have a salary of, let's say, 10,000. We have multiple employees. Simple. Now I try to add all employees. Employees dot add employee 1, employee 2, employee 3. Now if you carefully see, all the employee has the same content. All the employee has same content. And finally I will print using for each or the elements employee, employee, or employees. So I have added the elements. I have created four employee objects. Then I created a container object, and then I added all the employees into this. Then I'm printing employees. Okay, so how many employees will be added? Only one or all? Unique, right? So he is going to store unique objects. Okay, perfect. But he is going to add all. Why? Employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, and employee 4. So I told you how they check the uniqueness of elements. Hash set, linked hash set. How they check the uniqueness of elements? Equals and hash code method. Now where is equals and hash code method present? Object class. So that is not present inside the, but we have able to add only one. Why? How come? How come? I will add only getters, and I will try with that and rate setters. How come? How I am able to add all the methods? How I am able to add all the objects here? सबका हैश कोड आप चेक करो. You check everyone's hash code because they are pointing to new object. And where is employees equals and hash code method? We don't have. Equals and hash code method is not there. So what we can do, we can override equals and hash code method, and we can say that generate the equals. So I want to generate the equals method. So I will say if two employees have the same ID, then they are equal. So I have generated the equals method. So I say that if two employees have the same ID, they are equal, and I am generating the hash code based on their ID. That's it. Now it will add only one element. It will add only one element. So it is always recommended that you override equals and hash code, and you say that you are going to check uniqueness based on their ID. Now let me change the ID. You will add all because their ID is now different. Now you are having unique elements. Yes. Now uniqueness of element is checked based on their. Yes. Simple. Okay. Now you can change the name also. That's fine. Even though it will only check ID because you have generated the equals and hash code method based on their ID. Simple. And we are able to read the elements one by one also. We are able to read the elements one by one. Easy. Now same thing I will try with linked hash set. So what will happen? Instead of hash set, I will use only linked hash set. So what will happen? it will maintain only insertion order. So earlier I was not getting the order. Oh, okay. Asset. We have run that. So it will maintain the insertion order 1, 2, 3, 4. See here. Right? Now I will try the same thing with the tree set. I will try with the tree set. Now instead of hash set, I will use tree set. Check. Now I will add the IDs as, let's say, 11, 2, 33 and 4. Let's try to run this. Now I told you uniqueness of elements in tree set is not decided based on equals and hash code. Now if I run this, you will get one exception, because not salary, he is not able to decide how do I sort the elements, on what basis how I should sort. If it is integer, I will sort based on their integer value ascending. स्ट्रिंग है तो स्ट्रिंग के बेसिस पे हम करेंगे, लेकिन एम्प्लॉय को किस बेसिस पे हम उसे सॉर्ट करेंगे, तो उसे क्या चाहिए, उसको बताना पड़ेगा कि बॉस you can sort the employees based on their ID or something. So I will remove this. Even though you remove, you will get the same output. You will get the issue. Why? Because tree set is now confused. You added the employee objects. On what basis I should sort employee objects? So you can tell, you can write in the employee class that. So how do you do that? You write implements comparable, and you are going to sort the employees. Comparable has one method, that is compare to method, and there you write the logic. This dot id minus o dot it. What I did, I am implementing interface called as comparable, and I say I am going to compare employee objects and override compare to method. So comparable is an interface which contains this method compare to. Comparable contains compare to method, and there I said, so two objects will be compared. Now what is sorting? Now let's say there are two employees. Now these two employees will be compared first. Then if this one is greater, there will be a swapping of elements will happen based on their IT. 2 and 11 will be compared. Now 2 minus 11 minus 2, what will happen? You will get positive value. Now it has to be swapped, right? So for that purpose, what logic I have written? I have written a logic that compare two employees based on their IT. Compare two employees based on IT. अगर यहाँ पर अभी इन दोनों का डिफरेंस देखेंगे, एक कम है एक ज़्यादा है, तो जो कम है वो पहले आना चाहिए, जो ज़्यादा वैल्यू बाद में आना चाहिए. So for that purpose we have written this logic. Now what we did, we implemented comparable interface and we have overdone compare to method, and there we have written logic compare the employees based on IT. So this dot id minus employee dot it. Now let's run this. Now employees will be sorted based on their IT. Now first 2, 4, 11 and 32. See here. Now let's say you want to sort based on their salary. I will comment out this. What you do, this dot salary minus employee dot salary. Now employees will be sorted based on their salary. Everyone has same salary. सॉरी आपको ना, ठीक है. इनको थोड़ा ज़्यादा दे देते हैं, हीना को लेट्स से. चलो लेट्स रन दिस. नाउ वी विल हैव ललित फर्स्ट. नहीं, 2,34,000. Yes, now it is in ascending order, 54, 89 and like this. Now I want to know ulta, I want to know highest to first. So simply do this. You do employee dot salary minus this dot salary. So you will get the highest to lowest. Now you want to sort based on their name, so you cannot do the minus. You cannot do the minus. So we'll do that also. How do we sort based on name? Now we have two employees, their names we have to do. So this dot will have name. You cannot do this dot then employee dot name. You cannot do this. So if you want to compare two employees, two strings, so a string class has provided already compare to method. So you just call that method, your job is done. So why do you compare two strings? Already logic is written by string class. So call that method. That's this dot name dot compare to employee dot name. Now employees will be sorted based on their name. So first there will be, I think, H, L, S, V. Yes. Now if you see, it is sorted based on like this. Now you want to let's say you want the last character to be first, then you say employee and this. So you'll get first Vaibhav first now. So integers you can do minus, and for these strings you can call the, now you see here, simple. Now there is a problem with this approach. Why? We are, let's say this class is not with you. Let's say this class is not with you. Then this class is not with you. Now I will create EMP class. I do not want to do any change. I do not want to make any change to this class because this class is not with me. This class is with me. Then now you have these values, you added the limits, that's it. Now if I run this now, what will happen? You will get compile time error, runtime error. The employees I am not able to sort. Now there is alternate way that you can tell to the trees that sort the employees. Sorry, that should be MPA. This should be EMP. That's it. Okay, now if I run this, you'll get the same output. Last time, like we got, I'm not able to sort the employees. The same tree set will say. Now you can, now it is saying I cannot sort the employees based on, I don't know how do I sort the employees. You said you added this set of objects. Now you want me to sort the objects, but I do not know. Now you can tell him tree set that sort the employees based on ID, name, like this. Now you can explicitly say that. You can write a separate class here, class. Now you want to sort the employees based on ID, employee, sort ID. Implements, you can say comparator. You can write a separate class, comparator, and you say you are going to sort employees based on. Now there is one method that is called as compare. There you have two employees, employee 1, employee 2. Now you say employee 1 dot get ID minus employee 2 dot get ID. Now you are going to sort based on their semicolon. Sorry. Now what you do? Now you simply create object of this class, new employee sort ID. That's it. Now you have explicitly said that in this class there will be a sort compared method. call that method whenever you want to sort the employees based on their ID. Now you have written an externally class and you are saying that I will create a local inner class. Can I create that anonymous local class? Because I am not using that anywhere else, right? Now instead of you doing this, I can create the object like this also. Now this is one of the way. Now you will just run this. Now what I said, tree set boss, you can sort the employees based on their ID. So I have created a class which implements comparator, override the compare method and pass that object, that class. So internally it will call, you have a reference, you have a employee sort ID reference, we have a reference, you have passed the reference. Now using this reference, he will call a compare method for every two objects to be compared. Now you are comparing two objects based on their ID. Now your employees are sorted based on their ID. This is one of the way. Now you can do this with anonymous class. You can do this with the help of anonymous class. So you can write, now this class is of type comparator, yes. So I say comparator and this is of type emp and I write comparator equal to that's it. You finally write this one and you have the reference. You have this comparator reference. Simple. Now your job is done. Instead of creating a separate class, you have created a anonymous class and have passed that reference. So what we are trying to do, we are telling tree set boss, you can sort the employees based on their ID. And for that purpose, what we did, we created a separate class, overridden the compare method, created a separate class. That class implements comparator and overridden the compare method, and there we have written the logic that compare these objects based on their ID. Now this is a longer way, creating this class and everything. So what we can do, we can directly do one thing, simple thing. You can pass lambda. So what I will do, I will simply replace this with lambda. Now this lambda is passed to the tree set. This lambda is passed to the tree set and you are able to sort that. Now there is another way. We have seen that instead of writing the lambda, we can use method reference also. Perfect. And there is already a method. What is that method? So comparator dot compare int. That's it. Now this is also going to do the same thing. You are able to do the same thing? Yes. So don't worry about that syntax. What we are trying to do, we are telling tree set how to sort the objects. So you can tell how to sort the objects by in a separate class, or you can make changes in the existing class that is implementing comparable, or you can create a separate class and make that class as type comparator. Then you can pass that as reference, or you can create anonymous class, or you can create a lambda also. So most of the time you are going to use this second way, sorting the employees based on their using comparator. So comparable comparator, both of these are used to sort the sort the objects. These are used for the sorting of objects. Simple. Simple. So just think that we are telling tree set on what basis you to sort the custom objects. Now for integers, he will sort based on the integers. For the strings, he will sort automatically. Now let's say I will take some names also. What I will do, I will sort, I have a set of strings. I will use set of strings, new tree set. Right. Now I will add strings dot add now I have these strings. Now I will print strings only. Now he will add the elements, he will make sure everything is unique, and he will sort the strings. We did not do anything. He will automatically sort the strings. It will put the strings in a sorted order. So we'll have ABC, good morning, hello, hi, hula. So for strings integer, it will automatically sort. But for the custom object, let's say product, employee, for that what we have to do, we have to write the logic. Now how do we write the logic? We can make the changes in the existing class, or we can write a separate class also. Check. Online easy. Now we'll talk about the queue implementations. Queue, there is only hardly two classes we have, priority queue and the linked list. So we'll try that. Hey, already right? Okay. So we'll use the queue is a interface, and you will find some methods. What are the methods we have? Add, offer, remove, poll, element, pick. So we have six methods, and we have three operations to perform: add, remove and inspect. जैसे हमने स्टैक में देखा था पुश, पॉप एंड पिक. तो यहाँ पर add, offer, we will see that. देखो यहाँ पर we will have couple of methods: add method, offer method. Add method insert the specified element into the queue. मतलब आपको element add करना है queue में, then we will use add. Offer method inserts the elements into the queue. Add and offer do the same job. We will see क्या difference है. Add and offer do the same task. So we have first add, offer, adds the element into the queue. Don't worry, I am just listing. There also add the element into the queue. बहुत basic सी methods है. Then we have remove method. Retrieves and removes the head of this queue, means it is going to remove the element from the queue. Poll also, remove also, what it does? Remove the element from the queue. Poll also remove the element from the queue. Now we have element and peak. Element and peak. So we have two sets of methods each. It retrieves the element from queue but does not remove it. Same thing, peak also. But why we have two sets of methods? For remove also we have so add operation we have two methods. We have delete remove operation, delete operation, two methods. Then for retrieval or inspection. So you have two methods, add करना, remove करना और बस read करना. Inspection यानी read और read. Now we have think of this, what is queue actually. We will try to explain that and then we will talk about the method. Okay. Now queue means it is also container. Now let's say you are going for a movie and then you want to book the tickets, right? Now people will go in the queue from this one end. So add element, add, and what is the method? Add an offer. So this is called as front or head. This part is called as rear or back. So this is one end, this is the front or back. Then you will add the elements into the queue from one end and you will remove the elements from another end. So add an operation will happen from one end, then remove and poll will remove the element from this. Now let's say there is one element, I added first 10, then I added 20, then 30 and 40 like this, and 50. So first I added 10, then 20, then 30, then 40 and 50. Now what is the first element that will be removed? So it will follow first in, first out. So if I call the remove method on the queue, then it will remove 10. Then again I call the remove method. This will call 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Right? So it will follow first in, first out. It will follow first in, first out. Now I do not want to remove the element. I just want to who is there, who is next, or who is there on the top of, who is the next element. Now for that purpose, I use peek and element. So it will not remove the element, it will just check who is next, just to read the element, who is next. So it will give you the who is next. हाँ, मतलब अभी ऐसे काउंटर पे बंदा होता है ना, he will say who is next. He is not giving the ticket, but just he will check who is next. So he just want to read. He is not removing the element. He is just reading. Now I want to know the size of this queue. How many elements are there? We have size method. Simple. So we'll just try to implement this. Now this first in, first out is implemented with linked list. So we will use linked list to maintain first in, first out. Right? So we'll try to add the elements. Now there is one more concept before I move ahead to the coding. So there are two types of queues. What are the two types of queues? Queues are of two types. Bounded queue and unbounded queue. What do you mean by bounded and unbounded? Bounded means queue is of fixed size. And unbounded means dynamic size. So it is unlimited size. So it is not fixed. So queue can increase or it can increase. So it is growable. Fixed size and growable. Right? Now queue is, now you can think of it is a fixed size, one queue, and there is another queue which is of growable nature. So there is no shortage of space in that particular queue. It can increase. Right? Now let's say this queue is full. Now I had only these many places, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I have these 10 places. Now 10 places are full. Now if you are trying to add element, now queue is full. Now there are two methods for add operation. What are the two methods we have? We have add and offer. Add and offer. Now if you are trying to add an element into a bounded queue which is full, queue is full, so there are two options. So add method returns null and offer method says queue is full. It will throw an exception. It will throw an exception saying that the queue is full. Simple, this quest. So what is the difference between add and offer? If queue is full and if you are trying to use add method to add the element, it will return null. But if you are using offer method to add the element into a full queue, a queue is full, there you will get the exception. There you will get the exception. First case clear? Okay. Now queue is empty. Queue is empty. Queue is empty. This is an empty queue. Now you are trying to remove the element. You have remove the element. Now we have two sets of methods. Remove operation. What is that? Remove and poll. So poll method will return null and remove will give exception. No, there for the any. So bounded or unbounded, there is no restriction because it is empty. For add, there is a queue is bounded. Queue is bounded. Yes, it will go. But for the removal, queue is empty. Anyway, it is empty. So you are trying to read from that. You will get, if you are using remove method, you will get exception, and if you are using poll, you will get null. Similarly, queue is empty and you are trying to read. For reading purpose, you have two methods, peek and element. So peek method will give you null and this will give exception. That's the reason we have these three sets of methods or two sets of methods. Right? So I will write. Sorry. Yeah, I am going to demonstrate that also. So add method, what it does? Adds the element to the queue. If the queue is full and if we try to add the element, we get null. In case of offer, what happens? Add the element to the queue. If the queue is full, if we try to add the element, we get exception. Perfect. Delete operation. हाँ, बाउंडेड के लिए क्यू तो वही क्यू फुल मतलब बाउंडेड में ही होगा, अनबाउंडेड में देयर इज नो शॉर्टेज. हाँ, it will grow. Right? Now in case of remove, what happens? If the queue is empty, if we try to remove the element, we get exception. And in case of poll, if the queue is empty, we try to remove the element, then we get no. Simple. Similarly, in case of retrieval, if you are using element method, if we try to read from the empty queue, we get exception. In case of peek, if you try to read from the empty queue, we get null. Very simple. Three sets of methods we have: add, remove, and read. Let's head back to the. Now remember, this queue represents first in, first out. And for FIFO is implemented with linked list. FIFO is implemented with linked list. So we will use linked list only. So I'm adding a queue, and there is a queue equal to new linked list. I will use linked list. Now I want to add the element into the queue. I will use add 10, then I will say 20, 30, or you can use 100 for understanding purpose, 300, and then I use 33. Sorry. Linked list is unbounded queue. Correct. So linked list is, क्योंकि लिंक लिस्ट का यूज करके क्यों इंप्लीमेंट किया है, वो भी कंटेनर ही है, यहाँ पर भी आपका क्यों इंप्लीमेंट किया है लिंक लिस्ट. तो लिंक लिस्ट इंप्लीमेंट्स, सो क्यू इज इंप्लीमेंटेड, उल्टा बोल रहा हूं मैं, क्यू इज इंप्लीमेंटेड विद लिंक लिस्ट. क्यू इज इंप्लीमेंटेड विद लिंक लिस्ट मतलब आपका क्यू इंप्लीमेंट किया यूजिंग लिंक लिस्ट. डेटा स्ट्रक्चर इन वो भी क्यू में भी आपको कंटेनर ही मेंटेन करना है, तो इसके लिए आप लिंक लिस्ट यूज करते हो, तो उसमें आपका एक कंटेनर बनेगा उसमें. ठीक है. लेट्स से क्या हाँ रेफरेंस तो होगा ना. देखो अभी सॉरी नहीं, इसके अंदर जो मेथड्स है क्यू के अंदर, पोल मेथड देखो ये इंप्लीमेंट किया किसने, लिंक लिस्ट ने. तो आपको लिंक लिस्ट दोनों भी इंप्लीमेंट करके दिया, आपका डब्ल्यू लिंक लिस्ट भी वहां पर है और क्यू भी उन्होंने इंप्लीमेंट करके दिया एक्स्ट्रा. सो लिस्ट इंप्लीमेंट्स, लिंक लिस्ट इंप्लीमेंट्स लिस्ट आल्सो एंड क्यू आल्सो. इफ यू सी हियर it implements list also and dq also. So dq extends element, that is q. So linked list is doing both the things. He is working as the linked list also and working as q also, because q methods are implemented in the linked list. That's why he is working to both the things he is doing, linked list also and q also. Now you tell me what is the difference in this. You are trying to remove the element from the queue. So what will happen? Queue is empty now. Queue is empty. You will get null here and you will get exception. Queue is empty and you are trying to remove the element. You are trying to remove the element. See here. So first one you get the null and second one you use the exception. Similarly, you are doing which operation? This was remove operation or delete operation. Now there you want to read operation. Q dot, we have peak and q dot element. Now as you know, once exception is occurred, the rest of the code will not be executed. That's why I am commenting out this line. So this will give you null and this will give you exception. So q is empty and you are trying to read from that. No such element. What is the exception? No such element exception. Simple. Now what I will do, I will perform some operations. I will add some elements. I will make sure this queue has only integers. Right, and I will try to add elements into this q dot add. I'll use 10, then 1, 30, then 2, say 5. Now I have added the elements. Now I am going to perform how many elements I have added? 5 elements. So I will do that q dot poll, and at the end I will just simply do a queue size. I will do a simply queue size. Q dot size. I will do a q dot size. So after removing all the elements, I am printing what is the first output will be there. First will be 5 to what first. So we are following first in first out. So what is the first element added? 10. Then after that 1. After that 30. Then 2. Then 5. So what is the first element? Now entry is happening from this one end and removal will happen from this end. So first thing will be 10. This will be then 1, then 30, and then 2, and then 5. And what is the size after this? 0, because all the elements are removed. Are we getting the same thing? Yes. Q size is 0. Simple. So ये तो इसका कैपेसिटी क्या रहेगा? This is unbounded queue. This is a unbounded queue. वो तो define पे करना पड़ेगा. Linked list is a unbounded queue implementation. Unbounded queue implementation. क्योंकि internally it is using nodes. तो जैसे element add करना है वैसे आपका node create होगा. So if you want to create a bounded queue, you can implement array. You can use array, right? Now this is the Aam Aadmi line, first in, first out. So if you want to maintain a VIP line, so for VIP we don't have such structure. So who gets the priority? Who gets the priority? Priority. Sorry? Who has the priority? Yes, we have priority queue. Perfect. Priority queue. Now who will get the first order? Now here you won't find priority. Here it is a priority. Priority. Now default priority, who is going to execute, like what is the order? So how elements will be stored and how they will be processed? What do you think?
So storing or just storing का problem नहीं है.
ठीक है. No, storing. Who will get the priority? Who will execute first? Like who will get the chance first? So what is the order? Order will be ascending order, descending order, or is there any order? अभी तो बोलेंगे. हाँ, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो ऑर्डर नहीं देंगे तो वो बाय डिफॉल्ट फर्स्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट तो नहीं लेगा. व्हाट ही विल डू, ऐड कर दिया आपने क्यू. नाउ क्यू हैज एलिमेंट्स. हाउ मेनी एलिमेंट्स वी हैव एडेड? 5 एलिमेंट्स. 1 2 3 4 and 5. So he has added 1 2 30 10 5. Now queue is implemented. Now see the output. 1 no 2 5 10 30. So elements are ordered or processed in which order? What is the order now this time? Ascending order. This is ascending order. So by default they are processed in ascending order. Now I will do that priority. This time I will get some names. I will give some names. I will add some names. Q dot add. Let's say we have Lalit, we have Vaibhav, then we have Hina, then we have Shirish, then we have Shivan. चलो इतने सारे हैं हमारी गैंग. Okay, so what is the order? What do you think?
Alphabet.
Perfect. Alphabetical. Who will the first? Who is the first guy? Who? Second, Lalit. Then next, who will be there?
Rohan.
Rohan. Then Shivani. हाँ वैभव लास्ट में ना. हाँ नो ठीक है. Last element will be. Now some I don't want this order. So this is by default ascending order names के साथ. So we have to write some logic. So I will write the logic also for that. But first elements have queue is full now. Now they will do the processing as per their default processing order. What is the default processing order? Ascending order. Lalit, Rohan, Sirish, Shivani and Vaibhav. That's it. Now I don't want this processing order. I want based on some other priority. What I want? I do not want this default priority. I want to change. Now if you want to change, you can specify a lambda. So technically you are specifying an object or a reference. Now this reference is of type comparator. Now what you are going to specify? Strings reference, and you can specify new comparator string. Now there you can compare two strings, two names we have, right? str1 and str2. Right, now there you can compare. So how do you want to compare them? How do you want to compare? Ascending, descending, you can do that. str2 dot compare to. That's it. Now they will do a ascending. Initially it was ascending, now it will do descending. First now Vaibhav and then. So this is descending order. Now I have changed the order. See here. Now sometime what happens? I do not want this order. This also. Now I want to have another priority. What is the priority? I want now you can replace this with lambda also, or you can directly write this with reverse order. You can call the reverse method also. For now that's fine. I am passing reference. Now you have two inputs. You have two inputs and you want to provide the output also, right? Now I can do one more thing. I want whose name is smallest. Whose name smallest, that will get the priority first. Length. That's it. Now who has the smallest name? He will get the priority first. Now तीन रोहन का भी सेम है. So we have this. हमने प्रायोरिटी डिसाइड किया किससे? So you can change the priorities. Now let's say you have employee objects. What I will do, if you have employee objects and you want to have their priority. Now what I will do one more thing. Employee class, I will just copy that. We had EMP class, right? Yeah, that's fine. So I want to do a employee queue. I want to do a queue. This queue khali hai. Okay, so I will create a queue of employee queue, and I will have empq and empq equal to new. I will use priority queue. Now, do we have employee objects created already? Yes, I will just use that. Okay, so I have 5 employees that I have added into the queue. Okay, now I will do the pop employees. So this is employees queue. I will just rename this to queue dot pop. Yeah, poll, right? 3, 4, 5. I have only 4 employees. That's fine. So I'm doing this, and at the last you will have the fine. So what is the output? Who will get first executed? Will get the error, because he will not understand how do I decide the priority. Exception. So he is saying I am not able to decide the priority. Now you can tell him the priority by specifying the logic here. You can write the lambda. So what we are going to specify the lambda. So we will specify the 2 employees, employee 1 and employee 2. You will get 2 objects, and then you can write the logic. So employee 1 dot get id minus employee dot get id. Now I want to sort them who has highest salary. Who will get the chance first? Employee who has highest salary will get the chance first. Simple. So I have written this lambda, and this says okay, this is fine. Now employees will be sorted, or employees will be processed based on their salary. So whoever has the highest salary will have the first chance to complete the queue. This is the VIP queue we have. Those who are having highest salary will get the first thing. So we have added the employees in the queue. Now see here, who is the person who will get processed first? We have added the employees, and now we are trying to pull. So employee who has highest salary will get processed first, the second highest, third highest, and like this. This is the queue. So we have decided a priority based on their salary. So employees are processed based on their salary. So first what we did, we created a container, then we created objects, and then we added the employees into that particular queue, and then we try to remove the elements one by one. Simple. So that finishes your queue part also. So shall we continue, or we can pause? Pause. Shivani, shall we pause or we'll continue? Okay. क्या क्या? Git?